audio adventures of The Call of Cthulhu. Hello, my brave listeners, I'm the narrator, and if you'll lend me your ears, we'll enter the world of Lovecraft. Let's listen. There are places on Earth where maps grow uncertain, places where compasses spin, places where the sea seems older than time itself. Blackwater Bay was one such place. The fishing village sat alone on a rocky stretch of coast, hidden behind cliffs and wrapped in nearly constant fog. Few visitors came there, and fewer stayed. The villagers preferred it that way. For generations they had lived beside the restless ocean, casting nets into dark waters and returning with catches no one could quite identify. The fish were always strange. Too many eyes, too many fins, too many teeth. Yet the villagers never spoke about it. They simply looked away, as if they feared something listening beneath the waves. In the autumn of 1932, a young marine biologist named Evelyn Mercer arrived in Blackwater Bay. She had come to investigate reports of unusual sea life. At first, she thought the stories were exaggerated. Superstitions, fishermen's tales, the sort of nonsense that always appeared in isolated communities. Then she met the villagers. No one smiled, no one welcomed her, and everyone seemed terrified whenever the ocean was mentioned. The old innkeeper finally spoke. "You're here about the lights, aren't you?" Evelyn frowned. "What lights?" The innkeeper immediately regretted asking. His face turned pale. "Forget I said anything." But Evelyn did not forget. The next evening she walked to the harbor. Fog drifted across the water like ghostly curtains. The sea was unnaturally calm. Then she saw them. Deep beneath the surface, blue lights, hundreds of them, moving slowly through the darkness. Far too large to belong to fish, far too many to belong to anything known. The lights drifted together, forming patterns, symbols, shapes that seemed almost like writing. Evelyn stared in amazement. Then every light vanished simultaneously. The bay became dark once more. That night she dreamed. She stood upon a black shoreline beneath unfamiliar stars. The moon was enormous. The ocean stretched forever. Something moved beneath the waves. Something vast. Its shape could not be understood. Every time she tried to focus on it, her mind slid away, as though reality itself refused to describe what she was seeing. Then a voice spoke. Not aloud. Inside her thoughts. Ancient. Distant. Hungry. The door is opening. Evelyn awoke screaming. The following morning, she discovered strange markings carved into the cliffs outside town. Spirals, circles, interlocking symbols. Some appeared ancient. Others looked freshly carved. When she showed sketches to the villagers, several became visibly frightened. One elderly fisherman crossed himself. Another walked away without speaking. Finally, a woman whispered, "They're waking it." "Who?" The woman shook her head. "The Tide Keepers." Over the next week, Evelyn learned fragments of a terrible story. Long ago, sailors had encountered something far beyond the horizon. Not an island. Not a creature. Something else. A living structure. A city made from impossible geometry. Its towers bent in directions that should not exist. Its streets folded into themselves. Its walls appeared different every time they were viewed. The sailors returned, changed. They spoke of a sleeping intelligence buried beneath the ocean floor. An intelligence older than humanity. Older than life itself. Some became obsessed. They formed a secret society. The Tide Keepers. And they devoted themselves to awakening whatever slept below. Evelyn dismissed the tale as folklore. At least she tried to. Until she found the journal. Hidden beneath loose floorboards in the abandoned lighthouse. The book belonged to a former lighthouse keeper named Samuel Graves. The entries began normally. Weather observations. Ship movements. Daily routines. Then they changed. October 4th. The lights returned. I heard singing beneath the water. October 9th. The stars appear wrong. 3 constellations have shifted position. No one else notices. October 17th. I saw the city. God forgive me. After that, the handwriting became frantic. Words sprawled across pages. Sentences ended abruptly. Several pages contained only one repeated phrase. The sea is dreaming. Again and again. Dozens of times. The sea is dreaming. On the final page was a map. And a warning. Do not go beyond the red buoy. Naturally, Evelyn went. The next morning, she borrowed a small fishing boat and sailed into the fog. The villagers watched silently from shore. None attempted to stop her. Perhaps they knew it already too late. The red buoy appeared shortly after noon. Rust covered its surface. Strange symbols had been scratched into the metal. Beyond it, the ocean changed. The water became perfectly still. Not calm. Still. Like glass. Even the wind seemed absent. The world felt muted. As though she had crossed an invisible boundary. Then her instruments failed. The compass spun wildly. The radio emitted only static. The engine sputtered and died. The boat drifted, and beneath the water, something moved. A shadow, larger than any whale, larger than any ship, larger than anything that should exist. The shadow circled slowly beneath her vessel. One enormous eye opened deep below, glowing blue, watching, waiting. Evelyn froze. The eye alone was bigger than her boat. Yet somehow she sensed it was merely part of something vastly larger. A tiny fragment. Like seeing a single scale from an unimaginable beast. Then the water began to rise. At first, she thought it was a wave. But waves move. This did not. The ocean itself lifted upward. Stone emerged from beneath the sea. Black towers. Jagged spires. Impossible architecture. An entire city rising from the depths. The city should not have existed. Angles twisted into impossible forms. Buildings intersected themselves. Doorways opened onto empty sky. Looking directly at the structures caused headaches. Looking away caused worse ones. Reality seemed uncertain there. Fragile. Then she heard singing. Thousands of voices. The Tide Keepers. Standing atop the ancient ruins. Chanting in unison. Calling to something below. The sea answered. The city trembled. Massive cracks spread through stone streets. An opening appeared in the center of the ruins. A hole descending into infinite darkness. And from that darkness, something emerged. No language could describe it. Not because it was ugly. Not because it was monstrous. Because it was fundamentally wrong. Its shape changed constantly. Tentacles became wings. Wings became eyes. Eyes became entire landscapes. Looking at it felt like remembering a nightmare you never experienced. The Tide Keepers fell to their knees. Some laughed. Some wept. Some screamed. Yet all continued chanting. They believed they were awakening a god. But Evelyn sensed the truth. The thing did not know they existed. Humanity was beneath its notice. Like insects beneath a mountain, the creature rose higher. Stars vanished behind its silhouette. The sky darkened, and the voice returned. Inside her mind, ancient, endless, cold. The dream concludes. Suddenly, Evelyn understood. The creature had not been sleeping. Human reality itself was the dream. A brief illusion. A fragile layer covering something far older. And now, the dream was ending. The ocean boiled. The city shattered. The tidekeepers vanished into spiraling darkness. The creature unfolded further. Entire constellations disappeared behind impossible limbs. Space itself seemed to bend around it. Then, something unexpected happened. The lighthouse. Far behind her on the coast. Its beam ignited. A brilliant white light pierced the storm, sweeping across sea and sky, across the city, across the creature. For a moment, everything stopped. The voice fell silent. The stars reappeared. The impossible city began sinking. Stone vanished beneath waves. Darkness retreated. And the enormous presence withdrew. Slowly, reluctantly, back into the abyss. The ocean collapsed inward. The sea became water again. The sky became sky. Reality reassembled itself. When rescuers found Evelyn 2 days later, she was drifting alone. The city was gone. The tidekeepers were gone. The shadow beneath the sea had vanished. Only the lighthouse remained, silent, watching. Years later, experts examined her notes. Most dismissed them as hallucinations. Stress, isolation, delusion. The usual explanations. Yet some details proved difficult to ignore. The strange symbols. The missing villagers. The unexplained radio recordings. And one final mystery. The lighthouse had been abandoned for 30 years. No electricity. No caretaker. No functioning lamp. Yet on the night, Blackwater Bay nearly vanished. Someone, or something, had turned the light on. To this day, the village remains. Small, quiet, forgotten. But fishermen still report blue lights moving beneath the waves. And sometimes, during heavy fog, people hear distant singing from far beyond the harbor. A song carried across ancient waters. A song waiting for the right ears. Waiting for the dream to weaken. Waiting for the door to open once more. If you ever find yourself near Blackwater Bay, and if the ocean seems unusually still, do not follow the lights. Do not answer the singing. And whatever you do, do not sail beyond the red buoy. The end.